Sonic the Hedgehog is the worst video game I have ever played in my whole entire life. No, I'm not kidding. This isn't hyperbole. It's amazing how terrible a game about a blue hedgehog who jumps into robots could possibly be, but Sonic Team managed to screw it up. Everything from the terrible graphics to the... Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong footage. I got the wrong game. They share the same title after all. Sonic the Hedgehog is the worst video game I have ever played in my whole entire life. No, I'm not kidding. Everything about this game, from the terrible graphics to the load times to the pointless side missions and the multiple gameplay styles which don't work, it's just a train wreck. I have never seen a game be so consistently bad in every aspect it tried to do. It hurts me. It hurts me to play this game and to hear people actually describe it as not bad. Not bad? I'm sorry, but if you think this game is anything good, you're living in a bubble, and not the Sonic kind. I'm warning you right now, this is going to be a big review. A multiple-parter. I'm not leaving any stone unturned. I really need to express why this game should be a part of the Video Game Hall of Shame, right up there with such classics as E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Superman 64. And you know what? I'm not a real negative person. I need you to understand where I'm coming from. I am a die-hard Sonic fan. I own pretty much all of the games. I actually collected the comic books when I was in high school. I memorized Sonic Adventure 2's cutscenes word for word, and I could practically recite them whenever you ask me to.
And then, the world could be yours. Sounds like a plan. I like the way you think, Shadow. I will get the Chaos Emeralds, use the machine to dominate the world, and build a legacy of my own. Do you really think it'll be that easy? I am a nerd.
I've been a Sonic fan since I was a 7-year-old playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on my Sega Genesis. Hell, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is my favorite video game of all time. I know, my favorite and least favorite games are both Sonic. It may affect how much 06 made me angry, but I do have valid criticisms to cover. I like this series. I'm coming into this review telling you this because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I didn't want to hate this game. I have no ill will towards the people responsible for this game. The people at Sonic Team have made some great content. And I couldn't imagine the pressure one would have trying to make Sonic 06 as big and as ambitious as it tried to be. But still, I had to play this game. It was soul-crushing. And people seem to love watching me feel miserable. You bastards. So it's time to dive into this one head first. It's time to tell the story of what Sonic 06 means to me and why it was such a train wreck. But I know what you're thinking. But Clement, surely this game isn't totally awful. There has to be something in this experience that was positive. Well, you're right. This game is 99% terrible. But there is that 1% I should probably give attention to. And so, the positives of Sonic 06! If there's anything that turned out to be a great success, I gotta recommend the fantastic soundtrack. Sonic games generally always have some badass music in their games. The Genesis tunes are classics. And when the series entered into 3D, we got some really bitchin' musical pieces as well. And this game was no exception. A nice relief after the generic rock pieces we heard in 2005's Shadow the Hedgehog. I stand by that, damn it. You can't remember what Airfleet or Central City sounds like. The music in that game sucked. But Sonic 06? Well, it was pretty damn good. god damn is that good music. The vocal tracks aren't half bad either. I really like the techno beat of Silver's theme.
And I might know about future, but then you still control the past.
I love the update Crush 40 gave to the All Hail Shadow theme.
All hail Shadow, heroes rise again, obliterating everything that's not your friend.
And I even like Sonic's theme, His World, which you'll hear at the title screen as well as throughout the game in different remixes and arrangements. Originally, I actually didn't care for the lyrics. I didn't care for the super fast bebop and rapping thing going on, if that's what you call it anyway. But as time went on, it really grew on me, especially when I would run around to the song in Sonic Generations. The music's great. It's not the best Sonic soundtrack ever made. I mean, I couldn't tell you what Aquatic Bass sounds like by memory, and some of the boss themes are pretty forgettable, but you know what? It's got a lot of hits. I love how the hub areas sound, I like the diversity, and at least when I was playing this extremely terrible game, I was bobbing my head to the music the whole way through. Oh, and a good thing about the soundtrack? You don't even need to buy the game in order to hear it! Seriously, just buy the soundtrack. It's the only thing from this whole ordeal you should ever want to own. Well done, guys. Well done. Okay, and aside from the soundtrack, I love the scene where Shadow kicks Silver in the head.
Chaos Control!
That's fucking brilliant! Easily the best use of Chaos Control that has ever happened and ever will. My love of Shadow would greatly increase if he had more moments like this. Oh, you're gonna beat me up? Well, it sucks to be you, my friend, for I can slow down time at will! Kaboom! God, that's great. Okay, one more positive. Oh, I like in Tropical Jungle when you reach the part where Sonic and Elise hang off a vine and fling back in the air. I like that part. It's a fun set piece. Sonic 06 has barely any, so yeah, it kind of stands out. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, positives over. So I first caught wind of Sonic 06 probably in the beginning of 06, or maybe in the middle of the year. I really can't remember. All I know is that back then I used to frequent the GameFAQs message boards. Anytime any new screenshots or trailers would pop up, I'd get alerted to them. It's there I saw developer interviews where Sonic Team was basically saying they wanted to take Sonic in a new direction. The art style was described in this very question. What if Sonic was in the real world? They wanted to take Sonic into a more, quote, photorealistic direction. Good God, no! Look, the previous year when I played Shadow the Hedgehog, I was already worried about Sonic Team's decision-making because they chose to take the Sonic series in a radical direction. In this game, everyone started saying minor curse words.
You're going straight to hell! Damn, we've been detected.
Damn, they got away!
They gave Shadow machine guns and other edgy weapons. The look of the game was filled with destroyed cities and ugly aliens, and it was so not a Sonic game. And fuck the people who say, of course not, it was a Shadow game. You don't know what a spin-off is. Wario Land is a spin-off. Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol were spin-offs. Shadow the Hedgehog was a Sonic game filled with Sonic characters where you collected rings and ran through loop-de-loops as Shadow. There was nothing spin-off about it, especially when it was a direct sequel to Sonic Adventure 2, and it affected the status of Shadow's amnesia, which was a plot point introduced in the not spin-off Sonic Heroes. I don't care if Shadow was the main character. You don't change the universe of Sonic on a dime like that just because Shadow is a darker character. Sonic's roots have always been as a cartoon. In Green Hill Zone, you run around beating up robots that look like animals, and these robots actually have real animals inside them who you free as you jump into them. The world was filled with rotating flowers, trippy special dimensions, places designed like pinball machines. You are a silly blue hedgehog with attitude, fighting a fat, egg-shaped scientist with a big ol' awesome smile. Dr. Eggman's the greatest. It's a cartoon! It always was! When the games transitioned into 3D, it still felt like a cartoon. The humans weren't photorealistic, you still went to really wacky places, and even characters' expressions stayed over the top. It's a cartoon! Well, a cartoon video game that spawned lots of toys and television shows that are more cartoony. It's not meant to be realistic. Why would you take this concept where a blue hedgehog bounces on springs and collects rings and runs really, really fast and try to make it super serious and intense? I don't know. But when they said Sonic 06 was going to be realistic, I didn't like the sound of that. It really made me think that the Sonic I loved was changing into something I don't, and who knows if it will ever be the same. I saw lots of screenshots, mostly of the opening and some shots of Eggman's robots. I hate the look of Eggman's robots, by the way. They're all white and shiny and clean and deadly looking, and yeah, I imagine if this world really existed, it would probably be more realistic for the enemies to look like that. But it's not Sonic, damn it! I'm one of those weirdos who didn't even like the SWAT bots from the Sonic SatAM cartoon. I'll take Motabug any day. Hell, I was tolerating the orange pudgy robots that we got introduced to in Sonic Heroes, the Egg Pawns. I was fine with that. The opening cinematic was pretty well done, though, I will admit. You wouldn't believe how many friends of mine were like, "Oh wow, is that Final Fantasy XII? I can't wait for that game." So it looked fancy, sure, and I wasn't turned off yet. Then I saw a new trailer, and my fucking jaw dropped when I saw what had become of Dr. Robotnik / Dr. Eggman, the series' main villain since the original days.
I've come here to obtain the secret of the flames of disaster from you, and to take the miracle gems that are the key to its secret, the Chaos Emerald.
What the hell am I looking at?
Jesus Christ! He's thinner! His nose isn't pink anymore! The dude's got wrinkles! And... oh my god! I can see his eyes! I should never have seen Dr. Eggman's eyes! I know they're blue now! I should not know that! What the hell were they thinking? If you ever saw any kind of promotional art for Eggman, he's always been this goofy-looking motherfucker with a giant grin. His mustache goes all over the place, and he's got that comic relief edge that makes him fun to watch. This Eggman? I still don't know what to make of it. First off, if you want me to start taking Robotnik seriously, maybe you should have went with a new jacket. You're expecting me to believe that a dude who makes stainless steel robots who look pretty menacing also thought to himself, big golden nipples, that's what my red jacket needs! Somehow Eggman looks simultaneously more and less ridiculous at the same time. Mike Pollock even toned down his performance to make this dude feel a little bit more credible as the big bad guy, even though he isn't. I'm sorry, but no. As an Eggman fan, this is just wrong to me on so many levels. It's like I'm watching a live-action movie, and I'm watching some actor play Dr. Eggman. You know, like Jason Alexander playing Boris from Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's just that blend of uncanny fucking weirdness that rubs me the wrong way. He's Kevin Spacey being Dr. Evil. This thing is not Dr. Eggman. I refuse to acknowledge him as such. God damn it, he looks bad. Well, he looks horrible, but honestly, his character model is probably the best in the game. The other humans? They actually don't look that great. You got Princess Elise looking like an alien, her servants in the castle have giant bulbous foreheads and no eyebrows, and every citizen you run into in the town just don't look that impressive. I know, this game was an early Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 title, but the humans just look out of place. They aren't cartoony, and they aren't photorealistic, so they all just look weird. So I bet you're asking, what's different about the anthropomorphic characters? Well, Sonic has longer legs, arms, and spines. He's a little thinner, I guess, but he and everyone else aren't that drastically different.
They wanted to include the new consumers, so they changed the design of the Sonic a bit to be more like adult-like, kind of make him taller and also make cooler. So they believe they can bring the new consumers and also old consumers to this next generation console.
Ugh, this guy looks so bored. He knows exactly what this game is like. He could barely sell this. But I digress. Sonic and Friends have better models than the GameCube PlayStation 2 games, but as we'll see when we actually dissect the story of this pile, their emotions and animation is pretty, let's say lacking. But look, I'm getting ahead of myself. This was all my thoughts before I actually played the game. It just looked bizarre to me. It didn't feel like Sonic. Then on November 14th, 2006, the game finally arrived. And then my friend bought an Xbox 360. We played lots of Dead or Alive 4.
You lose!
Cheating bitch. Then I asked my friend if I could borrow it, as I didn't have a 360 at the time, and I knew that my local video store had a copy of Sonic 06 just waiting for me to play it. He said yes. I rented the game for a week. Little did I know this was going to be one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever had with a video game. Ugh, even the DVD pisses me off. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, look at Sonic's smug face just staring at you the minute you open the box. It's like it knows. You're about to play a fucking terrible game, and I'm gonna enjoy this, so stick me in, you stupid idiot! And so it begins. Sonic the Hedgehog. I hate that title. I refer to the game as Sonic 06, but that's not what it's really called. It's just called Sonic the Hedgehog, just like the Sega Genesis 1991 original. No subtitle, nothing. Why? Did they seriously think this game was worthy of the basic name of Sonic the Hedgehog? That takes balls. You're pretty much saying that this game is going to be the definitive Sonic experience, or that it's a reboot and this is the new age of Sonic that your grandpa can't handle. This game is Sonic! Fucking assholes. Just call it Sonic Iblis, or Sonic Soliana, or Sonic Revolution or something, but don't tarnish the original game too. Oh wait, I forgot. They did tarnish the original! On the exact same day, too! Actually, I know exactly what the game really should have been called, but I'll save that for later when I build up to that. It came out in 2006, so people just call it Sonic 06. So when you start up the game, you'll see that they decided to bring back the hub worlds. Hub worlds being areas where you can talk to the locals of the town, areas where you can relax and take in the scenery and become more involved with the atmosphere of the game. And you know, it was one of the great things about Sonic Adventure. I liked walking around Station Square. I liked hearing about the minor problems of the citizens. I liked walking around the egg carrier and seeing Dr. Eggman's robot maids cleaning his ship. I liked seeing that he actually installed a swimming pool in there too. It was fun. And I was actually wondering if they'd ever go back to this. Sonic 06 did, and I realized right then and there that I liked Sonic Adventure 1's hub worlds for a completely different reason. They had charm, and they were small. The city of Soliana in Sonic 06 is gigantic. It's one big open world map that actually needs a map because it's so big. Tons of alleyways that lead to nothing, landmarks which reappear everywhere and thus confuse you, and then when you get into the forest area, oh god! Playing as Silver is so awful because of this hub world. It's so goddamn big, and Silver runs at a snail's pace. It's always the worst thing having to run around in here. And again, it's easy to get lost. These hub worlds suck. Where's the casino area? Where's the beach resort? Where's Tails' house? Where's the Master Emerald Shrine? The Sonic Adventure hub worlds actually have landmarks and different sections. Soliana is boring no matter where you go. And because it's so big sometimes, it's annoying just trying to find where you need to go. I don't like Soliana. It wasn't fun to walk around, the people have nothing interesting to say, and all I wanted was the game to load the next level and skip the whole walking around bullshit. 06 turned me off of hub worlds. Thanks, 06! The first thing you have to do is find Tails. When you do, the game has two separate load times. One to load the cutscene where they talk, and another to bring you back to the hub world. The load times are quite lengthy, and they're quite frequent, as you'll see. You can't reach the first level of the game because Sonic doesn't have the ability to use the Lightspeed Dash, the ability that lets you fly across a trail of rings. So now we get introduced to the shop mechanic and realize that we're going to need to collect rings to make our characters better. But where do you get rings if you can't enter the first level? Why, you go talk to Alberto Robert and encounter the first Hub World Town mission. Each town mission can be found talking to a citizen with a blue exclamation mark above his head. And you know the game's in trouble when you first start this mission. First you talk to him, and you agree to help him out. A load time appears. Okay, it's loading the mission, right? What the fuck was that? It just loaded a text box. It reloaded Soliana, the guy I was talking to, and everything that was there before I went to the loading screen just to tell me what I need to do. I wasted 20 seconds of my time for no reason whatsoever. Why the hell did it do that? Oh, brilliant. The first piece of gameplay isn't a thrilling level where you jump on robots and do exciting things. No, before we get to the fun, we have to jump through rings. Because going through rings is the highest level of gaming. All the classics give you a go through the rings level.
Then there's no time to waste.
And in this mission, we learn the first problem with Sonic's control. After he hits a spring, he constantly falls forward no matter what. They want you to fall through a line of rings, but Sonic is constantly moving forward. If you tilt downwards, he'll keep going downwards until you move in a new direction. There's no way for Sonic to just drop. He's always pushing ahead wherever he goes. That's awkward. In order to successfully go through the pathway of rings, you gotta move Sonic around like 3 times just to keep him in the center. Oh god. This is just gonna get worse and worse, isn't it? After loading our results screen... No, really! We had to load that too! The town mission will force 4 load times on you. 1 to load the text box, 1 to load the mission itself, 1 to load the results screen, and another to bring you back to the hub world. The game moves at a snail's pace, and it doesn't matter if you install the game to your Xbox's hard drive or not. What the hell is with all these loading screens? But finally, we buy the Lightspeed Dash, and Tails drowns because he's always going to jump in the water to follow you. The first level is Wave Ocean. It is a beach level, where you have to dodge spike poles that raise up and down, wall jump from place to place. It has a lighthouse. It has giant killer whales that chase you as you run along the docks. Clearly, it's the most original level that's ever been in a Sonic game. Unless you played Sonic Adventure. Seriously, if you're not familiar, Sonic Adventure's first level, Emerald Coast, is what this level is. Lighthouse, spike poles, jumping from wall to wall, giant whales. You'll have to excuse me for thinking that this is pretty underwhelming. Here I was, expecting to see something that only the Xbox 360 could deliver, and what I get is an idea from a game that came out in 1998. It wasn't even 10 years old at this point. Now some could say that this is a homage, a tribute to Sonic Adventure, if you will. But see, if the level isn't as fun to play as the original level you're trying to recreate, then you're making this game look inferior by comparison. Emerald Coast is a fast and fun level. Wave Ocean, not so much. I think it's the odd design that kinda hurts it a little. See, when the level starts off, we're allowed 2 choices. We can keep water surfing through the circular rock formations, or we can decide, nah, let's go there. Even though you don't get points for doing so. And because Sonic 06 is incredibly glitchy, you might just pass through the fucking rock and die! Whoa! And if you do make it, maybe the game will bug out more and Sonic will go up this loop-de-loop real slowly. Yep, Sonic is standing upside down on the loop-de-loop. This game has no polish. You are going to find plenty of glitches with this one. Hell, I'm discovering new ones all the time. It's the game that keeps on giving. But as I say, Wave Ocean has odd design choices. Now, it teaches you how to wall jump when you reach the lighthouse. When you hit a wall, keep pressing A to bounce from spot to spot until you land on your feet. Pretty simple. And then when you're getting chased by the giant whale, at the end Sonic reaches the end of the dock and I fall to my death and die. What the fuck? See, I'm supposed to jump from plank to plank at this point, but honestly, I would never expect to start wall jumping on the plank of a dock a whale just smashed on me. I was trained to bounce off walls, not things I was standing on that propelled into the sky. So, like everyone I know, I didn't push anything, and lost a life and had to redo it. This isn't a huge problem, mind you, but still, everyone loses a life on their first time playing here. Everyone I've seen play, anyway. Even blind YouTube playthroughs included. Now, Wave Ocean is somewhat harmless as the first level, till the end anyway. So let's get on to Sonic. Sonic doesn't have 2 buddies hanging off of him like in Sonic Heroes. He doesn't have guns like Shadow. The blue blur is back by himself, and he apparently plays like a Sonic Adventure game. Yes! This can be only good news! He runs, he homing attacks, he jumps into wait, what the fuck? I got hurt by that! Why did that hurt me? Let me try that again. Oh, you fucking assholes. Since Sonic 1, your character jumped into robots in order to kill them. You see a Motobug? Boom! You see a Buzz Bomber? Boom! And in the 3D series, while he did get the homing attack to help lock onto guys and to make the 3D platforming a little simpler, he could still jump into them normally. It's what he's always done. Even Shadow, in Shadow the Hedgehog, could jump into enemies. Really helped with the bigger Black Arms aliens, as if I didn't have a gun on hand, I could repeatedly jump into them to shave their health pretty quickly. Guess what game has enemies with big health bars? Fuck! Okay, well how about the Spin Dash, a time-honored special ability that Sonic's had since number 2. It was great in the Sonic Adventure games. You could be running and then hold B to wind it up and stop on a dime wherever you wanted. Made going downhill faster. So great! Well, in Sonic 06, you cannot activate the Spin Dash unless you are standing still. You can't be running and then transition into it, otherwise you have to do the slide move, which is nowhere near as fun as spinning. And when you actually do start spin dashing, you can't cancel out of it until it stops. You can't jump out of a spin dash. You can't jump until it ends. No spin dash jumping. Bottomless pit? Too bad! God, that's stupid. You know what was so fun to do in Sonic Adventure? Shortcuts through spin dash jumping. I'd always place Sonic on an incline, rev up, and then as I let go, I'd jump to send Sonic fucking flying. It was great! So fun to play around with. Sonic is so stiff in this game. If you jump in the wrong direction, you'll accidentally run into a robot and not kill them. You can't stop spin dash animations to jump and hit a bad guy or something. That's just bad. That isn't Sonic. You know what else I don't like? Sonic's inability to push forward after a homing attack. Mainly because the enemy placement in this game is so bad, you're constantly attacking them over bottomless pits or lava or something, and the only way not to fall to your death is to do another homing attack. And if you got nothing to lock onto, you air dash really far and really fast. Too far. It's awkward. Oh, also, I hate the fact that Sonic can now homing attack into rails. You know the things Sonic usually grinds on to reach certain parts of the map? Sometimes you just want to lock onto an enemy, and he decides, nope, I want to go grinding on the rails now. Should I go on? I should? Well, how about this? Sonic's running speed is much slower than it was in the adventure games. I don't feel like the speedy blue blur. Everything about Sonic in this game is awkward. I hate how when he runs into a wall at his top speed, he actually hits the wall with his face and falls over. He falls over! Why would I want that? He's never done that in previous games. He hits a wall, he just keeps moving, and it ain't no thing. Why make Sonic a loser by falling over? It wastes 2 seconds of my time and kills my momentum. Sonic controls badly, the levels he plays around in don't complement his abilities, and it just sucks. He's the title character. He should be the best part in the game. Oh wait, spoiler alert, he is! But I'm done with Sonic for now, because Wave Ocean decides to throw another character at us.
Okay, Sonic, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's Miles Tails Prower. And again, it seems like he plays like he did in Sonic Adventure. Have you guessed what I think this game should have been called yet? But anywho, Tails isn't in a mech like he was in Sonic Adventure 2. So this can't be bad, right? Well, let's see. He's even slower than Sonic is. I mean, I know Sonic's the fastest thing alive. I know that's his character. But wasn't Tails fast before too? Also, I don't remember the obnoxious wishing sound that his 2 tails used to create. Oh wait, let's look back at Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I guess I remembered it wrong. He's always sounded annoying. My bad. Can Tails jump into enemies? Of course not! So if he can't jump into guys, and he doesn't have a homing attack, this sounds like he's gonna have an awkward time. And he does. Tails has to use dummy ring bombs, which attack enemies and scatter a gigantic group of fake rings all over the area. Fake rings which can confuse the hell out of you if you just got hit by an enemy and you're looking for real rings to keep yourself alive. Not to mention when there's a lot of rings on screen at the same time, the game might accidentally slow down every now and then, as it's prone to do when there's so much activity going on. And there are 3 ways in which you can attack enemies with these bombs. You can lightly tap the attack button to throw one in the direction Tails is facing. You can fly overhead and mash the attack button to drop a shitload of bombs overhead. Have fun with that, by the way. Tails doesn't just fly upwards. He always pushes forward when you're flying. He never just goes up, he's always moving forward. Why is the control on this game so bad? I'm also not fond of him tiring out and just dropping dead wherever he flies. It's been a staple of Tails' gameplay that when he flies for a bit, he eventually tires out. But you've always been able to guide Tails wherever you want until he lands. In this game, he just drops. Maybe it's realistic, but I don't care for it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I said there were 3 ways to attack people with the dummy ring bombs. Well, if you hold the attack button, Tails goes into first-person mode, and it's at this point you can shoot farther throws in any direction you want. And that'd be great if it weren't for the fact that every time you do this, the goddamn camera decides to aim at Tails, look at the ground, and generally never look where you were actually looking in the first place. Seriously, if you wanted to do multiple first-person throws, the camera has a fucking seizure and circles around your character a billion times. Every time you do a first-person throw, you have to manually move the camera back in the direction you want. And the camera moves pretty slow too. Slow enough that enemies you can't see will attack you while you're fixing the camera. And sometimes when I just wanted to do a normal throw on the ground, I guess I might accidentally push the attack button a little bit too long, because then my camera gets changed and I get all fucked up. Tails sucks. Why the hell am I playing as Tails anyway? The promotional art in the back of the box told me I was going to be playing as 3 different characters: Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. Why did you bother putting Tails in the game? Wave Ocean is a pretty bleh level. Sonic rides a killer whale, needs Tails to flip a switch, and then he ridicules the player for taking too long.
Tails, hurry up!
Shut up! Anywho, after Tails closes the gate and Sonic flies towards the ocean, we get another load time. That's right, there are load times in the middle of the levels too, meaning even if you somehow like playing this garbage, you still have to sit through all of this every time you replay the game. But now we come to the end of Wave Ocean. Sonic is chasing the egg carrier. Yes, another Sonic Adventure callback. But Sonic is chasing the egg carrier, and that means he's gotta speed up.
Darn, we're not gonna make it. Let's speed up. Darn, we're not gonna make it.
In case you're wondering what the hell happened and why Sonic is having a seizure, this is the Mach speed section. You're constantly running forward at an extremely high speed and you cannot stop. You push down on the control stick and nothing is going to happen. You push forward, you're not even going to run faster. All you're doing is moving left and right and occasionally pushing A to jump over obstacles. Keeping with Sonic tradition, you get hit, you lose your rings. Get hit again without rings, you die. So I hope your reflexes are good, because if you can't dodge the extremely narrow pillars holding up the bridges, you will clip them and take a hit. If you get stuck on a wall, you're not going to get unstuck from it. You will just keep ramming the wall and that'll be a death. Seriously, you can't even jump if you hit a fucking knee-high wall, because as soon as Sonic starts stumbling from a hit, he can't jump until he regains his balance. But the dude just dies immediately if he's hitting something after doing so. Oh, and that brings me to a bullshit part. At one point, you can hit a ramp, and, well... So what happened, you ask? I didn't go forward because I wasn't pushing forward. That's right! Even though I just got trained to realize that Sonic is constantly moving and there's nothing I can do about it, the fucker won't move forward after hitting a dash jump unless I hold forward! What kind of fucking logic is that? This is why people turned on Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1! Don't hold right until the minecart crashes? Then you just drop and die! At least with a 2D platformer, we train ourselves to hold right. How the fuck was I supposed to know I needed to push forward for this jump? Speaking of jumps, you better make sure your jumps fucking count, because if you jump at the wrong time, you might find yourself plunging to your doom! Every single Mach speed section has bottomless pits, or areas you're not supposed to go to, which will cost you a life faster than you can breathe. When you jump, Sonic undergoes Simon Belmont disease, because he cannot change his direction in mid-jump. He stays on that direction until he fucking lands! When I'm racing at high speeds and trying to dodge trees and boxes and trains and shit, I would like to be able to move left or right after jumping. These sections are lives drainers, and they're always at the end of the damn level too. And some of these levels go up for 9 to 10 minutes, which is too long for a fucking Sonic game. Imagine suffering through a giant level, having maybe 2 lives left, then boom, they fucking spring this bullshit on you. You lose your lives, you gotta redo the whole damn thing all over again, complete with the load times as well. Some of the deaths aren't fucking fair. Watch this part where I hit the very end of Wave Ocean. I'm in a scripted loop-to-loop where I can't move left or right, so I'm stuck on my linear path. At the end, I'm supposed to hit a dash pad, which takes me to a spring, which takes me to the goal ring. But of course this game is so badly designed, I can't fucking do that! Seriously, this is beyond bad. What the hell were they thinking? There's even one part where you land and there's two directions to take. One with an army of robots you couldn't possibly dodge, with a ramp leading up to a cave. If I can't change direction when I jump, and I'm already facing the beach when I land near that area, then how the fuck are you expecting me to jump over those robots? God, this is badly designed. Oh, fucking fantastic. I lost all my lives, which means I have to play through all of Wave Ocean all over again.
God damn it, this game is fucking terrible! How long have I been playing this? 30 minutes? I've been playing this fucking game for 30 minutes and I'm already this pissed off? Jesus. Well, whatever. Back to Wave Ocean. That's the opening cutscene. I have to go through all of that again. It didn't save. It didn't auto-save. I gotta go through the fucking ring missions again. And the load times. And everything.